Yo, what's going on guys? In this video we'll break down exactly how to recreate this viral Iman Gadzhi animation from scratch, step by step. You're gonna get all the project files, all the presets I use. You'll even get a font in the description below, so go ahead and download those completely for free and we'll step straight into After Effects without wasting any more time. Alright, we're gonna start off by making a new comp. I'll just call this Iman Animation. Make it 1920 by 1080. Background color black, frame rate 29.97, that's all good. And let's start off by making a new solid. Just make a black solid for the background. Now for the background, Iman has some pretty crazy effects. I don't know how he made this. He probably used some pre-existing background, but we're gonna make it as similar as we can. Now go ahead and grab all the background stuff from the assets I provided below. So we'll add the glitchy background, then we'll add the more glitchy background stuff, and then we'll add the dotted background overlay. That's great. Now what we'll do is we'll decrease the opacity, make it like 30. Then you wanna add a tint effect to get the same green color. So go ahead and go to the map white to and make it just a nice dark green to get a similar look. For this other background thing, you're gonna pretty much do the same thing. Just decrease the opacity, something like 18, 20, doesn't really matter. Then add a tint effect, map white to, and go ahead and make it a dark green, just like that. Then finally we have this dotted background. For this, you're also gonna add a tint effect. Just make it a nice little dark green like that. Go ahead and scale it down. It's massive when it's at 100%, so make it just fit the screen, about 29, maybe even a little bit lower. Nah, 29 is good. Then on the bottom left, you're gonna wanna click the circle and square thingy, and it's gonna show the blending mode. And you're gonna make this screen. You're gonna make this screen. And you're gonna make this screen. Now as you can see, I actually messed up. You're gonna wanna click the swap colors button. And now you got this nice dotted background. You're also gonna decrease the opacity a bit and place this dotted thingy on the bottom. Maybe decrease it a bit more. Just make it look nice. It doesn't have to be exactly like mine. Just to have some sort of glitchy background. Then I'll make this a bit on the left so it doesn't start with the green thingy. One more thing we're gonna do is add a mask on this dotted background, because in the Iman clip it doesn't have the dots all around the screen, it's only in the middle. So go ahead and press Q a few times to get the circle tool. You can also hold down and get the ellipse tool, sorry, not circle. Then you're gonna hold Shift and Command, place your cursor in the center and just make a nice little circle. After that, you're gonna grab this layer and press F on your keyboard to get the feather and just increase the feather a lot. Like 1500. Oh yeah, so one of these layers has sound, so you can go ahead and press L and just take the sound off. I don't know why background layer has sound. That's pretty weird. Now you have this. You can also add a quick little glow to the dots to make it look even better. We'll do more effects later, but just you can, if you want to, add a nice little glow. Great. Now you have this. One more thing you want to do is these backgrounds are only 5 seconds, 10 seconds, 15 seconds. Go ahead and right click, go to time and go to time stretch. Then you want to set the duration to around 30 seconds. Boom. Now it's going to be a lot slower and it's going to look a lot better, and it's actually going to fit the whole animation. Do the same thing for the other one. Just go ahead and new duration, put that to 30, and that's great. Still want to decrease the opacity on this a bit. But yeah, now you got the background looking pretty good. It's obviously not the same. You can't really make the same, but why would you make the same? Why would you just copy? I mean, we're pretty much copying here, but you get what I mean. All right. Now if we break this animation down, there's pretty much only four things. There's the background, there's the dude, there's the text, and then there are the assets. So we'll start off by finishing the background with this circle thingy, then we'll add the dude, then we'll add the text, and then we'll just make this. So it's actually pretty simple. It's not so complicated as it may look. So now the circle. Go ahead and get the same ellipse tool, make sure nothing is selected. Go over to fill and take that off. You can hold Alt or Option on Mac and just click it and it's gonna turn it off or on. On the stroke, put it on and make it 1 pixel, maybe 2, I'm not sure. Now go ahead and put this title and action save thingy on, so you'll see the exact center, and just hold Command Shift and make a big circle first, around this size. It's pretty good. Then once you have that done, just duplicate it by pressing, I don't know what it is I have set to another key, but just duplicate it, you know how to do that. Press S on your keyboard for scale and just make it smaller. One more time, duplicate, press S and just make it smaller. There we go. Now I might want to change the font, the size to 2 pixels, make it look a bit better. There we go. Now we have to animate it. And the way it is animated is very simple. You just select all the layers, press S on your keyboard to bring up the scale, make a keyframe to around 3 seconds where the animation is finished, then go to the beginning, make sure you're not selecting these keyframes, and just scale it down. Now you're gonna have to scale these individually, unfortunately, because it kind of messes it up. But just scale all of them really down, and you're gonna get a nice animation done. Just go down and boom. Now we can play it back and it looks like shit. That was horrible. So this should be pretty obvious to everyone. F9, select the keyframes, F9, go to the graph editor, and in here we're gonna make a left graph. Not fully to the left, but something like that. And that looks amazing. So good. That looks so good. Alright, now the background is pretty much done. Now we're gonna go ahead and grab this guy from the assets I provided, and we can kind of scale him down. And also, before we forget, we make the shape layers 3D, and we also make the dude 3D. Don't have to make the backgrounds 3D, those can stay as a normal object. But now just go ahead and scale him down a little, and you're gonna apply the same tint effect and just map the black to white. Perfect. So now he's white, and this dude is kind of looking to the right, and I want him to look to the left. So go ahead and go to scale, press S on your keyboard for scale. Sorry, that's not S. Unlink them, and this is 46, the first one, so just make it minus 46 or whatever it is for you. Now you have this nice little dude here. He's also leaning a bit to the left, so you can press R on your keyboard and make the Z rotation to just get him to stand up straight. Great. Now we're just going to animate him. Press P on your keyboard for position. Put it around 3 seconds, that's fine. And just make him go down and a bit forward, so decrease the Z value to around maybe like 200. That's alright. I'll just make him a bit bigger, place him a bit more down, maybe a little more. Yeah, that's pretty good. And that's amazing. Then go easy ease, F9, go over here and make a left graph. Pretty much the same left graph we used. That looks so good, so clean. Amazing. Next up we have the text. Command T for the type tool. And for this I have a preset down in the description, so go ahead and download it. It makes generating those number counter thingies so easy. So go ahead and get that. You can just type anything into here type anything, make it white, increase the font, and go ahead and add the effect I provided. So it's called, in the simple counter presets, you can go over to dollars and basic dollar rounded. Go ahead and add that. Then we'll also change the font real quick to a pixelated font. I have this font in the description also. It's not the exact font he uses, but it's pretty similar. So the pixeloid sans bold. Now to make the counter effect, once you add the preset, you can press U on your keyboard to show the keyframes, and go ahead and select the first keyframe and make this something like 8,000. 8,000 is pretty good. And make the second keyframe, select it, make it 20,000, exactly like in the video. So now counter effect done in like 5 seconds, pretty good stuff. Then we want to center it. I'll change the title action save to the proportional grid, and go ahead and check where the dude is there and make it just a bit above his head. Then press P on your keyboard, make a position keyframe, and go to the start and just slide that boy up. There we go. Easy ease. Select them, easy ease. Then make the same left graph. Not all the way to the left, but kind of like that. That's pretty good. That looks so good. We might want to make them a bit longer. Yeah, it's not quite at 3 seconds. Just make it. That looks so good. So clean. Now we're going to add the nodes. I'm going to take the proportional grid off and just add the nodes asset I provided in the description. Scale it down a bit. Put it around there. You can press W to rotate it a bit, however you like. And go ahead and grab the notes emoji as well. Now this notes emoji has a bit of a white outline, so you're gonna want to add a key, no, color, key, add it right there, make it white, and add the tolerance something like 5. That's good. Maybe a bit feather. But that's great. First, let's animate the nodes. So here where the animation stops, you're gonna wanna, well, before I forget, make everything 3D, just like this. Perfect. Now the way we animate the nodes is we add a CC page turn. And you're gonna notice this, where is it? There it is. You have to select the effect. Notice this anchor point. You're gonna wanna keyframe the fold position to where you want it to end. So around 2 seconds forward from when the dude stops moving. Then go ahead and grab this anchor thingy and just slide it all the way. We'll make it a bit to the left and up to get an animation like this. That looks so good. Well, it doesn't yet because we haven't easy eased, but we'll do this soon. We'll also add a opacity keyframe, so you can press U to show all the keyframes. Make the opacity 0 at the start and go like a second further and make it 100. There we go. Easy is everything. For this, you want to select everything and make a full left graph. Then make the opacity a bit sooner. That looks good. That's so good. Then, once that's done, you want to add the emoji. So go ahead and scale it down to fit the node. You can press R for rotation. Move the Z rotation just like that. Scale it a bit more. It shouldn't be too big. Something like that. And then we'll add the text. So Command T and what did it say? Copywriting. And for this, I don't have the exact font. I'm just gonna use this Comic Sans. Maybe a regular. That's pretty good. Make it black. Decrease the font size. This is all simple stuff. Maybe increase this thing a bit. And yeah, make it 3D. Rotate it with the Z rotation. scale it a bit down, make it like that, just make it fit. Honestly, there's not too much I can say here. Yeah, that looks good. Then to animate this, you're gonna want to add a typewriter to the text, and you can see exactly when there's space for it to start writing, you're gonna want it to start. So right when it's folded, you're gonna want the first character to appear. Yeah, it's not appearing because it's under the, so yeah, just it was under the note, so make this Z position, decrease it a bit. So now we can do this. So right when it starts folding here, you're gonna want the first character to be. So just like that. And it's gonna get a clean animation. This is way too long. Grab this keyframe and make it a good speed. A bit faster. Yeah, that looks good. Now let's animate the emoji. For this, press S, make a scale keyframe, press R, make a Z rotation keyframe, that's all you need. And go ahead and place these keyframes when the text is finished working, when the text is finished writing, and go to the start. Make the Z rotation like -200 something, 230, it's not that deep, and make the scale 0. Go ahead and ease those, go to the graph editor, go over here, and just make a nice little left graph. Pull this dot while holding shift, by the way, forgot to say that. And here we go. We'll make this start a bit sooner. Same thing for here. Once it's done folding, you're gonna want it to appear. So something like this. That looks so good. One thing, you also want to make this decrease the Z position so it's not under the note by any means. That looks so good. That's perfect. Now you know how to make the paper fold thingy. All there is to it is just to make this 4 more times. So the way I would do that is select the text, the emoji, and the note itself. We can make this note not that long, so Alt and left bracket there. And then go ahead and Control C, Control V, and just make it whenever the next thing appears. You can drag it down here while selecting everything, and then we would make everything again, just with the different emojis. I'll show you how to do that quickly in a sec. One more thing we need to do is, once this is done saying, we're gonna increase the number, the money number. So go ahead and copy this last slider keyframe, Control C, Control V, and go like 3 seconds forward. So here we're at 3 seconds, so go to around 6 seconds or 5 seconds, 5.5, doesn't really matter. And you're gonna make it to 70,000. There we go. You can also ease this. It doesn't matter that much, but why not? And then to quickly replace the thingies on here. So for the text here, you're just gonna replace it with team management. I think he had it on separate layers. Management, just like that. You're gonna decrease it a bit because it's obviously more letters. And just, sorry, not like that, just like this. And you're gonna make the typewriter a bit longer because it's longer text. And I think the note appears more from the upside, so you can go and press U on the note and go to the fold position keyframe, place your playhead on there, select the page turn effect there, and look for this dot, and you can just bring it more to the right to make it come from above and not so much from the left. Great. Then also you can select all of these, rotate it a bit. So press R for rotation and make the Z rotation just like that. No, maybe make it a bit more straight. Make it like this, and you're gonna screw up this, but it's alright because we're gonna change that anyway. So go ahead and get the other emoji, the suitcase thingy, color key, make it white. I already showed this. Color tolerance, make the tolerance a bit bigger, make the feather a bit bigger. And there we go, turn it to a 3D layer, make the Z position a bit lower so it's not under the notes. What you can do is just copy the keyframes from the previous emoji, copy them, delete the emoji, and just go ahead and paste them on the suitcase. Now you're gonna have the same animation, and there's no position keyframe, so you can just move it around however you want, just like that. For this, you might want to just delete the rotation keyframe and just make a rotation of your own, just like that. That looks pretty good. Now, I don't like how it starts upside down. Yeah, that's a lot better. Just make the Z rotation like 66, and it fits better for the bottom thingy. And now the text doesn't really work, so go ahead and right when it's folded, you're gonna want the text to begin. So around there. Perfect. We can increase the text a bit. I made it a bit too small. There we go. Now what Iman did for his animation, the bottom two notes he had were a bit lower opacity on the text and the emoji, so go ahead and select those, press T, and just make that like 70. That works. Now you pretty much know how to do this. You're gonna want to make two more notes, just like I have showed you here. And when the note gets, animated here, you also go to the number. You're gonna make a slider keyframe, go a few seconds forward, go ahead and put this to 140,000 next, and then just copy everything, move it over, place it to the bottom left now, and this is all really simple stuff. Alright, now we pretty much have the animation done. We're still gonna add the effects to make it look really good. So what you want to do is wait for me while I drink. What you want to do is make sure everything is 3D again. Now as you can see, we turned the dude into 3D and it's not showing, so go ahead and press P if this is happening to you, and just decrease the Z value a bit so it's above the notes. That's great. Now make sure everything looks good. Everything does in fact look good. Then you're going to want to pre-compose all the notes to separate compositions. So the first three should be this dude, Shift Command C, doesn't really matter what the name is, I don't really name stuff ever. Then just pre-compose all the layers, and this is for some reason a bit wrong, so just like that, pre-compose this one again, Command Shift C again if you were wondering. And now they're all pre-composed. That's great. Now we can also move them around however we like. So for example, we want this a bit more like this. This maybe, you can also make them a bit smaller. Make that like this one like this. Then whatever this is. This more there. Make them however you like. This doesn't matter. Don't have to copy me. Great. Now also go ahead and pre-compose the text layer. The reason for that is you can't actually add effects to the slider preset, so you're gonna have to pre-compose it first, and if you want to add effects to it, then you don't have to pre-compose this dude, but you want to pre-compose these shape layers just like that. Now we have everything ready for the effects. And also just make every pre-composition 3D, just like that. Don't make the background 3D. And the first thing you want to do is go to the circle thing, press P on your keyboard, make it a bit further away, just so it's behind everything. And for the circles, you're going to want to add a gradient ramp. So this one. And make the black and white, they're good. First, make the start of the ramp, so the black color, make it somewhere around here, middle of the text, and take this white thingy and put it somewhere like here. Let's make this a bit cleaner, exactly how he had it in his video. There we go. Then for the dude, go ahead and add some glow. Glow always makes stuff look good. You can play around with the thingies a bit, or you can just copy what I do. Oh, this looks pretty good. Yeah, that's alright. Just don't make the radius too big. Then in Iman's version, the dude was kind of like distorted in the beginning, and then he became normal. So the way we're going to do that is we're going to add Venetian blinds to the guy. And then you want to go ahead and make the direction 90 degrees. Make the transition completion something like 40. Increase the width a bit of feather also. Then go ahead and duplicate the effect. Then move the width a bit. Just try to get it to look somewhat like he had. You really just have to play around with the effects, because I don't know exactly how he did it. So just play around with the effects. Maybe duplicate it one more time. Just try to make it look as similar as possible. It's kind of a guessing game, but now this is good enough for me. You can play around with the settings all you like, but this is what I did. You can just kind of take a look at those. Then also add a mosaic effect, and go ahead and make the sharp colors on, then add a bit of the horizontal blocks and a bit more of the vertical. Just make it look like this. Then you can also add a fast box blur. Go to horizontal and add a bit of horizontal blur. That looks good in my opinion. Maybe increase this thing a bit. There we go. Then go around halfway through the keyframes and make a keyframe for all of the Venetian blinds, transition completion, and for the mosaic, both of the blocks, and for the blur radius. Obviously want to put these keyframes to the start, and then for here you're just gonna turn everything off. For the mosaic you have to actually turn these up, not off, to get them away. There we go. Now go ahead and now you can ease this. Go to the graph editor, pull this while holding shift, make a left graph, just like that. That looks so good. That looks amazing. Now let's make the text look good. Go to the text pre-composition. I wonder what it is. It's probably this one. We're gonna add some effects to it. So I went ahead and added some effects. You can go ahead and copy these if you want the same look. You can also go for something different, doesn't matter. But here are the effects I use for text. You can make a preset of this if you want and just use these everywhere. These are great effects. Makes every text look good. Now we're gonna add wiggle to everything. So go ahead and search for the wiggle position effect and go to the wiggle options here. Make the amount around 25 is probably good. Make this like 0.5 so it doesn't wiggle too much. Let's see if that's enough wiggle. Yeah, that's pretty good wiggle for me. Then you can just copy the wiggle, be lazy, copy it to all the nodes. Just like this. And now we have some nice little wiggle on everything. That's perfect, that looks so good. Now one thing I want to do is I want to decrease the opacity just a bit. Just make it like 90, that looks a bit better. Then I want to add a tint effect to the nodes to make them a bit exactly like this. This is what I mean. Make them look not so yellow and so bright. So add a tint and make the amount of tint to 27. You don't have to change the colors or anything, and just copy the tint effect to the rest of them. That looks so good. This is looking pretty fire, if I do say so myself. Now I'm pretty sure everything that's left to do is to add a camera. So go ahead and make a new camera. Just use a nice little 2-node camera. And then you want to open the camera. No way. Add a position keyframe, that's all you need. And here's what you're gonna do. Go where you can see it and make it a bit forward. Then place this keyframe in the beginning, and when it says 20,000, we're gonna put it quite a bit further away. Select them, easy ease. Make a full left graph. Here you can go crazy with the graphs, just make it all the way to the left. That's how I always start my camera movements. Now this looks good. I'm actually wondering if it looks better with not so left of a graph. Huh, I think it does. Yeah, make it like that. I don't know what I'm talking about, obviously. There we go. When it's at 20,000, it's gonna end. Now you could just add another keyframe at the end, make it zoom in. Or you can be extra fancy and make a new null. Go ahead and parent the camera to the null. Make the null 3D and go position on there. Now the reason you want to make a null is so the camera movement never stops. So it kind of goes like, it goes away and then it goes back, and it doesn't go away, stop, and then come back. This is just such a nerdy thing, but whatever. Easy is that you don't have to make a graph. You don't have to make a graph because it's just a simple little zoom in. We'll see how that looks. Now this looks so good. All right. Last thing we want to do, pre-compose everything. Now the last thing we're gonna do is go ahead and add some effects to the full animation. So I have an effect stack, a preset, which I'm gonna add. I'm gonna show you the effects. You can make a preset of it yourself. It's really simple. So here I have the effect stack I just put on. Optics compensation makes the camera look like this, looks really good. Turbulence displays makes everything look awesome. Then glow obviously makes everything look good. For this one I'm actually gonna decrease the glow a bit. So maybe take the second glow off. But yeah, the second glow pretty much had these settings. First glow has these settings. Take the second glow off. Then I have a noise here, 7% noise, and a post-rest time of 15. I usually do 15, but for this we're actually gonna do 12. We're gonna add more post-rest time than usual. Just make it look a bit more laggy. For this we're also gonna decrease the noise a bit, make it like 4. Still I have some noise, but not too much. So yeah, again, these are the effects. You can copy these. Now guys, I almost forgot one more thing. You're gonna go back into the pre-composition and add motion blur to everything but the text. But yeah, this is how the animation turned out. Pretty perfect. Looks pretty much like his. Now this was my first video ever, my first tutorial. It probably sucked. The viewing experience was probably horrible. You probably didn't understand anything. I was probably way too fast. You couldn't keep up. I was stuttering. All that good stuff that comes with the first video. But hey, we out here re-improving every day, so it's all good. Subscribe to the channel. I'm gonna make more of these animation tutorials, whatever you guys want. I'm gonna work tirelessly to make you a better editor. But yeah, I really thank you for watching. And yeah, definitely leave some tips on the comments below on how I can make these tutorials better, because I really think this was way too fast paced, all that stuff. But yeah, take care and I'll see you in the next one.